Whoa, it's the Illusion, reporting from somewhere on Spaceship Earth. The Terra Cruiser heading to Venice on a Monday. So I was driving into town and I passed the sign that said, expect delays. Here's another one. Whatever. Expect delays, LA Marathon 319, right? And I was like, thought back, dude. So when I was younger, I must have been 19. My dad hooked me up with an internship working for the LA City Marathon, right? Didn't really know what it was, kind of clueless. And so I would go down to downtown from Malibu, man. And I didn't have a car at the time. I would go down to downtown LA, dude. I don't even know if it was fully downtown, dude. I would go down into there, man. And I'd take a bunch of buses, and I would go to some studio. And I think my thing was I was hustling people who donated money or something. I really, it's kind of vague, but I remember I had to sit on the phone and kind of do this thing. And there was like another intern guy, and I don't know, I was like my third or fourth day, and I'd take the bus to and from. It was a whole adventure, right? And so I remember in the deal, all of a sudden, like a big swell was coming up. And I was like, wow, I'm going to miss the surf and the whole thing. And I think at the same time, I'd had this beater pickup truck, and it was done. And I think in the deal, my old man like hooked me up with a car. He'd like went and got me a new pickup truck, right? And I had that so I could get to this gig, man. And so anyway, the swell's coming up, and I'm getting all bummed. And I remember that night I'm at home, and my dad's like, oh, well, they called and said they're not going to need you down working on the marathon, right? And I was like, super, yeah, that's epic. Right on, man. And the traffic guy's not really doing his job here, dude. There's some construction going on. So I was like all pumped about it. Like, yeah. And I remember my dad looking at me super just like, you're an idiot, man. And disappointed. But I was so into myself then, like I didn't even pick up what he was putting down, dude. I didn't get it. And so I remember the next day, the swell, it's like it was a west swell because it's this time of year. And it fully petered out, and there was no, well, use your signs, dude. I'm looking at the guy, and he's like, come on, whatever. And so there was no swell. And so this is the thing that I would try to convey to the minigram sometimes. I was thinking, it's like, the more older I get, the more I know how I roached my dad. Like, he went out of his way to hook me up with this marathon thing, and was kind of super stoked I was doing it, because it probably could have parlayed into something, but I didn't even know what I was so clueless, man. I didn't know if I went and hustled, it probably would have led, it was like a tryout to get like a legitimate job with the studio or something, dude. I just blew it off as an inconvenience. But I remember I was willing to like commit to taking the bus for hours to get to this thing and the whole deal. And my dad saw that and was like, oh, I'm gonna like hook you up with a new car. And it all just like blew apart in his face. I could see it now as a dad. Like, it blew apart in his face. I ended up getting a car out of the deal, dude. And he ended up just being probably pretty disappointed. I'm sure my mom will let me know because she watches all these videos. And I look at it now, and I was just like driving, and like every time I think about the LA County Marathon, I get regrets. Not regrets like that, but just like, wow, man. I'm an asshole sometimes, I can't even say that I was just just didn't know any better, man. And that's the thing I try to tell the minigram. I go, it's not about the decisions you make now, like how you feel about them now. It's how you're going to feel about them when you're 47, right? Like at 47, I passed this sign about the LA County Marathon, and I sit there and I'm like, man, I harshed my dad, dude. Like, and there's no unringing that bell. I don't know how he felt about it, but I'm pretty sure now that I'm a dad, I know. And I'm like, wow, man, like, my dad was going out of his way to hook me up, do me a solid, and I just didn't care because I was so about surfing. And then the swell petered out anyhow. Like, that's my thing about, like, a lot of, like, I've learned in life, and I'm still all crazy about it, but I have a better gauge on it, is like, we make these things out to be like so much more important than they are, and then it doesn't happen, and we're left with an empty bag, dude. Like, I mean, I guess on a certain level, I didn't get the talking to about like what it was to be an intern. Like, I wasn't getting paid any money or anything. But I didn't know. I mean, I guess, like, you know, I can take 90% of the response. 10% was like, I didn't get to sit down and talk to him. Like, hey, look, dude, maybe I did. Maybe I was just so stoned and clueless, I didn't hear it. Like, I don't know. Like, that's the thing, is like, you young stoners out there, man, like, I don't know. Was I so into being baked and into my own thing that I just, like, fully just harshed my dad, blew off an opportunity, missed the swell anyhow, just kooked it, dude. I can't, like, so, right, like, I guess that's the thing, is like, being a parent now, I try to instill that thing into the minigram. It's like, I go, look, man, it's not about the decision, it's about how you're gonna feel about it way down the line, man. It makes me sad, man, that I kind of did that. If I really think about it, man, it's super, like, a bummer, bro. Like, wow, that's super lame. It was lame of me, man. I just missed opportunities, dude. I do remember this, though. Funny, to try to bring this around to, like, a little bit of funny. So I was taking the bus back from one of the thing one day, and this dude's like, you want to buy some hash? And I was like, yeah, dude, I want to buy some hash. And so I bought this chunk of hash for like $10 or whatever it was. This is like 1988, dude. And it turned out it was like a piece of like graham cracker or something, dude. It was like nothing, dude. It was just, I got fully conned and ripped off on the RTD, thinking I was buying hash and being like, all right, I'm buying hash. It wasn't any hash. I was so into being a stoner, man. Like, that's the thing, is like, I look at it, I get it, man. Like, the whole stuff. I was so into being a stoner surfer, dude. I don't know what I missed, man. All I know is I didn't really gain a whole lot from it. Like, if I look at the pros and cons of it all, like, I'm not sure I really, like, being a stoner surfer didn't me any good, man. But you can't tell anybody that. Like, I can't tell any, you can only when you know, dude. Only when you know do you know, and then you go, oh, wow, man, like, I'm a donkey. Dude, that was uncool, man. So, yeah, man. One of those, like, anyway, that's something just came up driving to town, dude. Just like that.